Red Zone Sports Anthem. Wham, bam, thank you, Uncle Sam.
Hello there and welcome along to another edition of Upping the Ante in association with RedZone.bet. Week 9 we're on to now in our series. I'm joined by our resident Cheltenham connoisseur, Gavin Lynch. And of course, I'm David Jennings. Gavin, how's the last week been for you? You came in today with a spring in your step.
Definitely did.
It's a new Gavin Lynch.
Yeah. Cheltenham was just going along in second gear for the last couple of months, but I think since Thursday, since Gowran Park and the weekend, I think it's really clicked into fourth gear, to be honest.
You bounced in today.
Yeah, no, it's getting exciting now. 6 weeks, but the weekend was brilliant.
And
plenty of Cheltenham pointers.
Since you were in front of computer screens for everybody last Monday, what has happened to you in the last week? Has it been profitable?
Good day Thursday and gave it back yesterday.
Okay,
So,
we can handle that.
Yeah.
After the Christmas and the start of 2019, you can handle that.
Yeah, losing a few quid for the year, but nothing much. So.
Okay. It's still early days yet. We're still in January.
Yeah.
So the last week, we've seen so many Cheltenham pointers. Everywhere you look over the last 4 or 5 days, there's been Cheltenham pointers. And Gavin, there's only one place to start. The most popular horse in training at the moment,
Definitely.
people say, presenting Percy.
I'd say he's the most popular horse either side of the Irish Sea. He was brilliant on Thursday, beat the 3 horse of Willie's by a length and a quarter, but he won with his ears pricked, didn't he? He travelled great, he jumped great, he always looked the winner. He was a bit slow at the last, but he's just a class act, really.
And the reaction afterwards with RedZone.bet, we're going to have a look at the Cheltenham Gold Cup market, and we all knew he was going to harden as favourite because we knew he was alive. We hadn't seen him since last March. He's 11-4 favourite with RedZone.bet, 5-1 Native River, 8-1 Kenboy, 10-1 Thistlecrack, 10-1 Clandazobo, 12-1 Bar. He deserves to be favourite, Gavin,
yes.
But what people want to know is, would you back him at 11-4 right now?
Not at the minute, because he won't be any short than that in the day. And if you go through, I'm not going to be too hard on the horse, but just to keep both sides of the fence.
Devil's advocate, we need that.
Yeah, he's ran 5 times over fences, okay? So he beat the Plot and Shed in Galway. He was third to Jury Duty. He won a handicap chase against Forever Gold. He then gets beat by a 3 mile 5 horse, an hour Duke over 2.5 in Gowran, right?
Good horse, though.
Yeah, in the Red Mills that he's going to in a couple of weeks.
Not here
and
to
then
defend himself,
No,
unfortunately.
he beats Monolly and Alboon Fote, who fell 2 out, but he beats Monolly 7 lengths. So really, he's favourite in the Gold Cup because he's got fantastic potential. He was a very good hurdler. He's won twice at Cheltenham. He's trained by a very shrewd man. But it's basically on beating Monolly in the RSA. There's no other chase run that you'd say is good enough to be favourite in the Gold Cup, is there?
And is he that price maybe because we're looking at the standard of opposition and we're saying to ourselves, we need a superstar here, and he's the only potential superstar?
It's a very open race, but I mean, you have a King George winner in it. Clandazobo, the one well at Christmas. Kenboy was impressive, showed a great turn of foot at Leopardstown. Native River, he's 5-1 because he's the champion, but he definitely needs soft ground. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, presenting Percy, it's very exciting. It's great for the owner, but he's the right man on board for sure in Davy Russell. He's the boy. He gave it a lovely ride in the RSA down the inside last year. He jumps great. He seems to be a very, very clever horse, whether it's hurdles or fences. He's just...
Lovely quick feet, doesn't
he? Yeah, he just gets the job done.
And a couple of years ago, we seen Jack Adam win Thyestes.
Yeah.
And he went on to finish second in the Gold Cup on a couple of occasions. Could invitation only follow in the footsteps of Jack Adam?
No.
Fair enough.
He won the Thyestes the other day off 152. I checked this morning on the HRI website and the handicapper's given him 10. That's up to 162. It'll be interesting to see whether Willie runs him in the Gold Cup, but you'd imagine an Irish national or an English national could be more his cup of tea.
Okay.
It was a good performance now, carrying such weight in Gowran in that
Jump
ground.
great.
He did. Ruby gave it a super ride too because he had to wait for the last fence to challenge.
It was Ruby at his very best. And there's been a shake-up in the Arkle market, of course. And I suppose in the last week, it's been all about Willie Mullins. The season so far has been very lukewarm for the Cloysutton stable. And just in the last couple of days, it's beginning to feel more like Cheltenham and Cloysutton.
It's like the Eminem song, Guess Who's Back? Because Willie is certainly back in the last few days.
He is. And Silas Emery, and you've some very interesting stats on the Arkle. He's now 15-2 with RedZone.bet. Layler is 92 favourite. Kalashnikov 6-1. Larichberg, who runs this weekend, 13-2. Dynamite Dollars, who won at the weekend at Doncaster, 13-2. 11-1 Bar. Begin.
Yeah, just an interesting fact is the hurdle ratings. Silas Emery is easily the highest rated hurdler amongst all those because he beat Mellon and Punchtown in the Grade 1. So he's rated 159. Lawler was rated 149. Larichberg is 140. Dynamite Dollars had a very low rating of 132. And Kalashnikov is 152. So I definitely wouldn't discount Silas Emery. The only thing is going to the Arkle on one run. He won't run again between now and Cheltenham. The one thing that helped him was that they said afterwards that they flew over the first 3 fences. So You know the way they always go too quick in the Arkle, like they did last year. So that will stand to him that they did go quick.
Now, possibly the most excited I've seen you this year on Upping the Ante was after Layla won at Cheltenham in November. Is your excitement for him quenched a little bit because of Silas Emery?
Well, he was brilliant that day. He beat Dynamite Dollars easy. He got a rating of 160, which is a huge rating, first time over fences. But then obviously he ran poorly going the other way around and Sandown on soft ground. They didn't run him there at the weekend at Doncaster. She said she's going to wait, that he's better fresh, which is probably a good idea. So it's starting to look like a good Arkle, I think.
And Dynamite Dollars did what he was entitled to do at Doncaster.
Yeah, he was 4s on,
Yeah, you couldn't expect any less. Wasn't overly impressive, but he does get the job done. And of course, he has winning form over the top 2 in the market.
Yeah, he's definitely honest. Ballywood travelled like a better horse to say the second last, and looked like he was going to maybe challenge after the last. But no, Dynamite Dollars jumped well. He's very, very honest, and he battles away. Yeah, he's
and
a good
for
horse.
people watching the show, they might say to themselves, why on earth is Dynamite Dollars 13-2 when he's beaten the favourite and the second favourite? Can you explain why?
Because Lawler also beat him very easily on better ground in Cheltenham. So I suppose people are thinking, because the Arkle has ran over 2 mile at Cheltenham, that Lawler is going to possibly beat Dynamite Dollars.
Okay, good answer.
Yeah, I think Celius Emery will have definitely a good chance.
Yeah, I really hope he gets there because he's got a touch of class as well.
He does, yeah.
Moving on to Blue Sari, who I suppose was the first Willie Mullins horse this season to stake his claim for the champion bumper. Usually Patrick is probably going over 5 or 6 in his head. What am I going to ride? What's going to like the ground? At the moment, he's only got one potential ride in the race. Maybe Mount Leinster has been a little bit disappointing. But Blue Sari, he blew me away, I have to say.
You're saying there, but Willie Mullins, it just reminded me of, I sent a friend a text the other day that it was 9 weeks and 15 minutes since Willie Mullins won a bumper in Ireland before Blue Sari.
Wow.
That was, I think, Westport Lady in Thurles in the middle of November. So that doesn't happen.
9 weeks?
Yeah.
It's over 2 months.
Yeah. So that was his first bumper winner in that time. But yeah, Blue Sari, every horse in the race was first time out, but it showed a fantastic turn of foot. So we might talk about that horse later on. But it depends if Malone Road and Envoy Allen, if they run or not. But there's no strength and depth to this year's bumper at the moment anyway.
There isn't. We might come back to Blue Sari later in the show. And on Saturday at Cheltenham, Gavin, I didn't see this coming. Maybe you did. Paisley Park announced himself as a staying hurdler with a huge future, and he's now 9-4 favourite with Redzone.bet for the Stayers Hurdle. 9-2 Apples Shade, 5-1 last year's winner Penn Hill, 7-1 Super Sunday, 17-2 Faheen, and 9-1 Bar. Very short, Gavin. He was very impressive, but that's very short.
He was. The one thing that was fantastic was the thrill that his owner, Andrew Gamble, the chap is blind, but the joy that he got in the parade ring with his friends around and telling him how the horse was going, he just seemed to, love the horse winning. So it was great to see owners getting such a thrill out of it. But he was mad impressive. He won by 12 lengths from West Approach. Your horse, Black Up, was third. I think, obviously, anything that was behind him can't win the Stayers Hurdle, you'd imagine. Yeah,
I would, obviously, I'm very forgiving. I just thought Noel Feely just went after the two in front at the wrong time. I don't like horses that make up their ground coming down the hill at Cheltenham.
But is Black Up going to beat Paisley Park?
No, probably not. But they're 20-1 and 9-4.
Yeah.
I think he will finish a lot closer. First time over 3 miles, coming back from chasing. I think you'll see a big improvement in Black Up in the Stayers Hurdle. Whether he can turn around that form, I don't know.
The one thing that was interesting with Paisley Park is that he hit a flat spot. Now, if you look back at English Streaver, who won 3 Stayers Hurdles and big books, the two of them did the same thing. Yeah. So I don't think it's really a negative. He won with his ears pricked. So the one thing I'll say is I don't know if the strength and depth was too strong in that race. I'd still give Penn Hill a decent chance of beating Paisley Park, but it looks between the two of them.
Okie dokes. And at Fairy House on Saturday, Gavin, a very good result for you because one of your previous anti-post fancies for the Cheltenham Festival absolutely bolted up and is now a strong favourite with most firms for the Dawn Run Mayor's Novice Hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival. Honeysuckle. You must have been thrilled with what you saw. Yeah,
I thought she was very, very good again. She's now 4 from 4. She's won the point to point. She's won over 2.5. She won over 2 in Thurles. She won over 2-2 in Fairy House. She always looked the winner. She travelled best. She took it up turning in and won quite well. I still think around 4-1 is probably okay value, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I think 4-1 is good value because, again, it doesn't look the strongest division. She looks the best horse we have this side of the water. Epitant and so on in England probably aren't too bad, but I think there's more to come from her.
Okay, that is Honeysuckle, who's favourite for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. And at Naas on Sunday, Esport Delaine. Some people are tipping this horse as an outsider for the Champion Hurdle. I thought it was quite impressive. It hasn't managed to make it into the single figures with Redzone.bet for the Champion Hurdle. Is Esperdalen a live outsider in your view?
You'd have to say that it is. I'd say what probably turns people off a bit is that JP owns Bouverdaire and Esperdalen.
Yeah,
so
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't run.
I'd say he'd probably run.
Okay.
I think he will. He gave £7 to Wicklow Brave and beat it very, very easily. It actually jumped very well, but made a mistake, I think 4 out and another mistake at the last. But it does actually jump well. The big thing against Esperdalen is the record for 5-year-olds. Catch It, of course, we all remember, is the last one to win it. But in the last 33 years, Catch It is the only 5-year-old to win the Champion Hurdle. CU then was the last one back in 1985, and he went on to win 3 in a row. But the stats are against 5-year-olds.
Do you talk to your wife at all at home?
Only in the evenings.
9 weeks since Willie Mullins won a bumper?
Yeah.
You've got the 5-year-olds record for the Champion Hurdle?
Yeah.
God,
But that's the only thing
imagine
against
being
it. I mean, I think Catch It could run a decent race, yeah.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say he'll make it into the first 3 myself now. Well, Catch It want to be some horse to win the Champion Hurdle this year, Gavin. Anyway, also on Sunday we've seen Ballyward, and I can just imagine it now, sitting in the sitting room in Cloysutton, Patrick and Willie. Patrick already is making his case for Ballyward. Sure, Willie's too slow for the RSA. He won't even lay up with them. How would he lay up with Delta Work and all these top horses like Santini? He needs 4 miles, Willie. I think you'll see this horse in the National Hunt Chase, will you?
Well, I tell you what's very strange is that Willie's quote afterwards was that I think the RSA is the race for him, and he's not entered in the RSA. If you look through the bookies list at the moment, they're not quoting him because he's not entered. The only race
I think Patrick did the entries for the RSA.
I think he must have. The only race he's entered for is the 4 miler, and then Willie said he's probably going to go for the RSA. So it'll be interesting to see. I'd say you can.
Now, this is not good news for you. That is tipped and backed OK Corral for the National Hunt Chase. 3-1 with Redzone.bet, 11-2 Ballyward, 12-1 Delta Work, who's probably going to go for the RSA. Discorama 14s, Impulsive Star 14s, and 14s Bar. But this makes a race of this. Because you've got 2 high-class horses.
You do, and also Discorama, who fell at the last when he was upsides Ballyward. But you got the impression that Ballyward would have won. I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, I thought he would have won, even though there was less in it than visually you could see. I thought he was only a half a length behind probably Discorama, yeah.
And also, Champagne Classic ran a cracker. He hadn't ran for 21 months, I think it was. And he travelled great, he jumped great. So I wouldn't discount him for a race at Cheltenham maybe either. Okay,
they're the few I picked out. Now you might have others that you might want to talk about very quickly.
Very quickly, Shantou Flyer ran terribly last Monday, I thought. Was beaten 20 lengths, so he won't be winning the Fox Hunters. We've mentioned Sealy's Emery Invitation only. Real Steel is worth a mention.
Is he better going right-handed though?
Possibly, but he did run at Cheltenham previously, yeah. He won by
badly.
10 he won by 10 lengths there on Saturday, so he might end up in a JLT. He's 20s for that. Birchdale won at Cheltenham on Saturday.
Lucky winner.
Yeah, Brewing Up a Storm fell at the last one. He was upsides.
Yeah.
Who sang Brewing Up a Storm?
The Stunning.
Correct. Well done. So Birchdale is 10-1 for the Bartlett, 14 for the Ballymore, but JP already has champ for the JLTs, or sorry, for the Ballymore. So I'd say he might end up in the Bartlett. We've mentioned Dynamite Dollars. Nade Tack won in Doncaster.
Nade what?
Nade Tack won by 22 lengths in the Bartlett trial. If you want a horse that definitely stays, you go back him. He's 25-1 for the Bartlett. Lady Buttons won, but she's not good enough to win the Mayor's Hurdle.
That's a great bit of stuff, though, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a good money earner. And then there's 2 words I want to say to you. Fakir Doudery. Did you see it?
I did. Wow.
That was impressive, wasn't it?
Well, for a juvenile to jump so well, you say wow, and then you realise he's ran over fences in France. But he was just so slick over his hurdles,
yeah,
like
very,
a champion
very
hurdler.
fast. But as you say, it's hard to believe 5 runs in France and 2 of them were over fences, and he's only just turned 4. So, but he was very impressive. And then yesterday, Joseph had another 4-year-old called Conito, who won the first race. I thought that was very impressive. And actually, him and Fakir Doudery had ran in a listed hurdle in France before together.
Have you a preference for one of those two?
I think the betting is wrong. Fakir Doudery is 5-1 and Conito is 25s. To me, that's too big. But Fakir Doudery definitely deserves to be favourite, yeah. Okie
doke. So there is our review of the last week from our Cheltenham connoisseur, Gavin Lynch. And we've got some questions from eager viewers, Gavin, who are keen to know a couple of things. The first one is from Paul Baker. It says, "Hi gents, I'm enjoying the show. Lovely stuff. Have you heard anything regarding Penn Hill? I've heard that he may have had a setback, and I wondered if you had heard anything. I have him in lots of anti-post bets, like Gavin probably. Well, I did the big read with Patrick Mullins in the paper last Sunday.
Yeah.
Still available online if you would like a read. And Patrick, I asked Patrick about Penn Hill, and is it a worry that we won't see him before Cheltenham? And he said not at all, because they figured out that they can follow a similar route to Quevega and just peak him for one day and one day only. And who better than Willie to get a horse fit for one day? And obviously they think that's what suits Penn Hill.
Well, it seems to work, because when he runs in Punchtown after Cheltenham, he's got beat twice. So you wouldn't argue with that tactic.
No, I wouldn't. To be honest, Paul, I wouldn't be one bit worried if I were you. I think he's in better shape now than he was this time last year for Cheltenham. So the vibe seemed to be.
I think there was a bit of a rush on him to get him to Cheltenham last year.
Last year
still
was.
won, yeah.
Absolutely. Bashar Watts, what a name, Bashar Watts. Hi guys, I've got stuck into Labaga Watt in the RSA for a while now. I would like your opinion on whether she should go to Cheltenham or not, please. If I owned her, I would much rather have a go in the RSA than something at Aintree. I think we both agree on this.
Yeah.
I don't think she should go to Cheltenham.
I don't think she will go to Cheltenham.
No.
If she does go to Leopardstown, she might go to Aintree. We looked up earlier, her record at Cheltenham was not so good. 2 average runs.
Yeah, 7 to Let's Dance and 7 to Benny's to Do. And
So-
a similar type of performance, just when she got to the bottom of the hill, couldn't pick up.
Yeah. So Warren Greatrex has said that she needs a flat track, so I can't see her going to Cheltenham.
And just a couple of stats. She's won 3 times at Newbury, twice at Wetherby, twice at Kempton, twice at Huntington. She won at Newton Abbot, Uttoxeter and Aintree. All of them, there's no real undulations in all of them. I think Leopardstown, coincidentally, is perfect for her. 2 mile 5, Leopardstown, left-handed, flat track. Should be very hard to beat.
She's a mare. She just wants things easy.
Yeah. Now, Gavin.
Yeah.
Let's not get into that debate. And finally, Matt McKenna says, thanks very much for this, Matt. These two need a proper TV segment, and not just for Cheltenham. I'm a big fan. Now, I don't know Matt from Adam. Do you?
No.
No. So he's a fan, Gavin. We need our own show.
We must have 1 or 2.
Yeah, that's hard to believe now. I don't think any respectable television organisation would pay for us two to talk. No. That's agreed. But thanks very much for your comments, Matt. And now it's time for Kane Calvin to join us in the show. And Kane, for you, we're going to ask, Willie Mullins is not dominating the Cheltenham anti-post markets like he usually does, but what horse from his stable are RedZone.bet fearing most over the next few weeks?
So we do feel Arena and think there'll be considerable money for her as soon as the target is confirmed. But other than her, it's mainly the lesser races and handicaps that concern us with Mullins. We will be looking to keep onside anything he sends for the bumper. His record in that race is just remarkable, so hopefully we can dodge one there.
I think after last Thursday, Kane, you certainly will be dodging Blue Sari in the bumper. He was very impressive. And our second question to you, Kane, is given that both Paisley Park and Penn Hill are both going straight to the Cheltenham Festival, who do RedZone.bet think will start favourite for the Stayers Hurdle on the big day? And right now, who is your worst loser between the pair?
Okay, so I'd very much expect Paisley Park to start favourite on the back of his course and distance win in the Cleve Hurdle on Saturday. He's currently 9-4 of us compared to our current biggest loser, and that's Penn Hill at 5-1. We do expect Paisley Park to be a favourite horse of the public though, with a feel-good factor around his connections, so we might well be cheering against him on the day.
Thanks very much for those, Kane. And Gavin, I don't know if you knew this, but it's a huge week for RedZone.bet because it's Super Bowl time on Sunday night.
Right.
Yes, Super Bowl time. So, Kane, we all know RedZone.bet offer the best prices on the NFL, but are you doing anything extra special for the Super Bowl next Sunday?
Yes, guys, we're running a free to enter Super Bowl predictor game, and that gives you the chance to win £1 million. You simply have to make 5 predictions, and that's the winning team, the first touchdown scorer, passing yards for both Jared Goff and Tom Brady, and the total points in the game. For me personally, I've gone for the Rams, Todd Gurley to score first, Goff to throw over 260 yards, Brady 350, and that's with 46 total points in the game. If you think you can do better than me, which you probably can, go to RedZone.bet, log in and register, choose your answers, and be in with a chance of winning a whopping £1 million.
Right, Gavin, we're going to have a go with this now.
Okay.
Do you want to go first or second?
Yeah, I texted a pal of mine in Boston.
So did I. My pal knows more than your pal.
I doubt it, because that's Boston's New England Patriot territory, isn't it? So obviously, the Patriots to win, James White to be the first touchdown, 300 yards for Brady, 250 for Goff, and 42 points. There you go.
There we go, very insightful. And
Yeah.
my buddy, Mark Brennan, right, who's like a local celebrity in Navan, who actually tips on NFL for a living.
Okay.
So he's quite high profile.
Right.
So if you're watching, Marky, thanks for this. For the Super Bowl, he says the LA Rams, which I think is the Los Angeles Rams.
Well done.
Yeah, to win by between 1 and 10 points. And back, this is the one he was sure of, back Todd Gurley to be the MVP and for first touchdown scorer. Todd Gurley, remember the name.
Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley. So there you go. So there's our two pals taking each other on. Will you watch it?
No.
No, me neither. Me neither. We'll be watching Cheltenham videos.
Exactly.
So enough of the Super Bowl stuff, Gavin. It's time for what we're really good
Yes.
at. And it is the Dublin Racing Festival this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And brilliant racing.
Yes.
1.8 million in prize money. It's probably the best. I know we've got Punchestown, we've got the Leopardstown Christmas Festival, but over 2 days, with Cheltenham in mind, it is the best festival.
It's fantastic, yeah. It's only going a couple of years. I think there's 4 grade ones each day, and it's at the right time. It's halfway between Christmas and Cheltenham, so if you want a horse to get used to the pace of the race, etc., and go on a grade 1, it's perfect timing, yeah.
Now, when we were doing our research for the show, we asked Gavin to pick out his three best bets for the Dublin Racing Festival. Of course, Gavin being Gavin, came back with 10, but we want you to narrow it down to 3. Mention the horses you fancy, and then I want your top 3.
Okay, I went through some of the handicaps. There's no point in talking about Apple's Jade and Laricheburg and those ones at 5-4. So, 'Tis a Mystery, although it's 11, is 2 from 2 at Leopardstown. That's 10-1 currently for the handicap chase. Wonderleish is better than 144. Some people are thinking it might end up in a champion hurdle. It's 7-2 at the minute. It'll probably go off shorter.
Really?
Yeah, and even there's going to be 20 in it. But that man Charles Burns trains it, so you never know. 3 mares for the mares handicap hurdle. Court May, the one impressive over 2 mile in Cork. Sassy Diva looks chucked in at 116. And also Senoria belonged to Henry de Bromhead would have a chance. So keep an eye on the betting there. I think that Philin Dudery, Joseph's outsider in the 4-year-old hurdle, will run a good race. I'm not saying he'll win, but he's a horse to keep an eye on. Classical Dream I like for the 2 mile grade 1 novice hurdle. If he settles better than he did at Christmas. And Pleasure Dome for the 3 mile handicap hurdle. She was very unlucky at Limerick at Christmas. Yeah. She doesn't want that deep ground that she had in Cork and Limerick. So if the ground is decent, which will be, the forecast quite dry this week. If it runs in the 3 mile handicap hurdle, I think it's 10 or 12-1. That would have a chance. Okay,
and your top 3 would be?
I'll go for Pleasure Dome, one of those mares, and Wonderleish.
Okay. I'm going to go, my 3 would be, I like Moon Over Germany in that Matheson handicap chase.
Oh, yeah.
I think that could be well handicapped off a mark in the 130s. Thought it ran really well when second to Paloma Blue. I think Min will win the Labrooks Dublin chase. I don't know if Footpad is going to run against Min.
They won't run against each other, not a chance.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, it's run out of opportunities, Gavin. But I just think Min won the race last year. And, you know, he's a creature of habit, Willie. I think Min can win that Labrooks Dublin chase. I think 5-2 is a cracking price. And I also like Bell's Hill in the Irish Gold Cup. I'm going to stay loyal to Bell's Hill. I fancy him in the Savills chase.
Okay.
Just thought he blew up. I think he's still Willie Mullins' #1 hope for the Gold Cup
ahead
this year.
of Kenboy?
I do, yeah. I really do.
Are you still drunk, are you?
No. We'll come back. We'll come back and analyse the race next week.
Okay.
But I think Bell's Hill will be second favourite for the Gold Cup after Sunday.
My God.
There you go. So, Gavin, the time has come. Before we look at our next tip for the Cheltenham Festival 2019, we're going to have a look back on our previous selections, and we're going to show yours first of all, which is going reasonably well at the moment.
Yeah, it's not too bad, I suppose.
So we're going to start off with Malone Road 8-1, who unfortunately is injured at the moment.
Yeah, I think he'd be a 2-1 shot if he was still going for the race, but yeah, that's pretty.
Layler 7-1, you happy enough with that?
Yep.
9-2 favourite at the moment. Now, Laricheburg at 28-1.
Looks
there
great.
should be an asterisk there next to Laricheburg's name, because unfortunately Gavin tipped up Laricheburg for the JLT Novices Chase.
Yes.
And it now looks like he's going to go for the Arkle. Your best bet here, or your best hope of success at 28-1 for the JLT, would be if it finished second or third on Saturday.
Yeah, and if Defi Desul came out and won impressive and they switched them. Because Laricheburg has won over 2.5 in Tipperary, but Laricheburg will probably end up with the Arkle, which is a pity.
And team captain Tiger Roll in there at 9-2, stuck in the middle, exactly where you want him to be.
Yeah.
He's your kind of midfield general, isn't he?
He's the banker, yeah.
Then we've got Penn Hill at 8-1, which is actually decent value, but a bit of a unfortunate performance, I suppose, from your point of view last
Paisley
Saturday
Park.
from Paisley Park, which I suppose doesn't...
Yeah, but look, he had a rush preparation, we said last year. He beat Super Sunday. I think he's got a good chance of beating Paisley Park.
Road to Respect 18-1, that's happy enough.
Yeah, just has a small each way chance, yeah.
And then, I suppose, the ace in the pack, Honeysuckle for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle, 14-1, as short as 7-2 with some firms now.
Yeah, she's a great chance, yeah.
OK Corral, rock solid. He's your striker that's going to get a goal or two. 3-1. I'm waiting patiently for the Ryanair, who we might see at the Dublin Racing Festival next weekend.
Great. He's a good horse.
At 8-1. So 6 or 7 out of 10 overall?
6 or 7, yeah.
You a little disappointed in yourself?
It's a tricky year.
It is a tricky year, yeah. Okay, so it's time for my selections now, which are probably not as strong as yours. Paloma Blue 18-1 for the Arkle. Needs to jump a bit better. Delta Work 12-1 for the RSA.
Well done.
Yeah, no, that's not too
He's
bad.
a great
That's
chance.
into single figures. Rhinestone 33-1 for the Ballymore. I would love to switch that to the Martin Pipe, because I think he'll go for the Martin Pipe, and I think he'll have a
I'd say
cracking
you're right.
chance of that.
Yeah.
Mr. Fisher 14-1 for the Supreme. Obviously, he did his thing at Haydock. Black Op, who we spoke about earlier in the show, was a little bit disappointing in the Cleeve Hurdle at Cheltenham, but I wouldn't be giving hope of Black Op. He's around about the same price now. And Balco de Flow, last year's winner for the Ryanair Chase, 14-1. God only knows what Balco de Flow is going to show up, because he's as unpredictable as me or you.
Yeah, he's had a bad couple of runs, hasn't he?
He certainly has. So they are our selections so far. Okay, Gavin, so it's time for our Week 9 selections. Week 9, who can believe it? For Upping the Ante, and we're going to let you go first.
I'm going to go with Blue Sari. That was very impressive the other day in Gorham Park. Now, it's a little bit of a stab in the dark because they were all first-time outers, so the form could be worth nothing. But at the same time...
Sometimes you have to believe your eyes.
Yeah, you do. So visually, it was very, very impressive. So I went and tried to delve a bit deeper. So if you'll allow me, I'll try not to bore you, but I went and did...
You never bore me, Gavin.
I went and did a few times because they looked to go very slow early and the overall time wasn't quick of 4:12. So the last lap between Blue Sari's race, Spare Brakes, Presenting Percy and Ale Cal was about the same, roughly 2:50, right? But in the last 3 furlongs, Ale Cal, who won a 2.5 mile handicap, 49 seconds. Spare Brakes won the 2 mile handicap hurdle, 45.5 seconds. Presenting Percy, 44.5. And Blue Sari, 40 seconds.
Gavin, that's how we love you.
But it was, that's a very
that's
fast
proper
time.
research.
Yeah, no, it is. And Willie said it was a top-notch performance. He said that he knew the horse stayed very well, but wasn't sure if it had the gears. We definitely now know it has gears. Derek O'Connor, I seen Patrick on television yesterday, and he said that Derek O'Connor, who's riding JPs in the race, thought he was definitely going to win turning in. I couldn't believe that Patrick beat him by so far. 3 4-year-olds, because he's only a 4-year-old, 3 4-year-olds have won the Cheltenham Bumper, Rhythm Section, Dato Star and Q Card, so it is possible. 3 out of 26. It does get an £8 allowance for being a 4-year-old. It's going to carry 10-11 as opposed to the older ones carrying 11.5, so that's too light for Patrick, so it'll be Paul Townend or Ruby that'll ride it.
Oh.
But I just think that Envoy and Malone Road are massive dangers, huge dangers, but I think the two of them, one might make it through injury perhaps, the other one they're talking about keeping it for next season, etc. So if those two don't run, that is a great chance.
And just give us them times again.
In the last 3 furlongs?
Yes.
Ale Cal, 49 seconds, Presenting Percy, 44.5, Spare Brakes, 45.5, and Blue Sari, 40.
So it's 9 seconds quicker than Ale Cal.
Yeah, no, that was a 2.5 mile handicap hurdle, but yeah.
Still, 9 seconds is a long time.
It is.
Do you talk Jamboree at all at home? No?
The odd time.
So that is Gavin's next selection for the 2019 Cheltenham Festival. It is Blue Sari, who has been enhanced to 12-1 for Upping the Ante viewers from 10-1. That is Blue Sari for the Weatherby's Champion Bumper. And my selection, Gavin, I'm going out on the limb here.
Okay.
I'm taking a big shot. It is Dunvegan for the Ballymore at a very, very generous 40-1 with redzone.bet. Available at 28-1 earlier in the day, but for Upping the Ante viewers, it is 40-1 Dunvegan. Let me explain. Before you laugh, don't laugh.
No, I won't.
Okay, Dunvegan beat Clinton Hill by 6 lengths in a Ferriers Bumper. Clinton Hill won next time. It was second to Palisator in the Leopardstown Maiden Hurdle in the meeting before Cheltenham last year. Palisator's rated 147. Jatez, who was beaten 10 lengths in the race, is rated 136. So that makes me think that Dunvegan is at least a mid-140s horse.
Okay.
He won a Punchestown Bumper at the festival last year. Get a Reason was back in third that day. Get a Reason is now rated 136 over hurdles. He made all, and I thought jumped brilliantly to win a maiden hurdle at Ferriers. The second swordsman, who was beaten 7.5 lengths, won his maiden hurdle next time by 12 lengths, and they think a lot of swordsmen and Gordons. I don't think we've seen the best of that horse yet. The third that day was Mormon from Henry de Bromhead stable, was beaten 17 lengths, and he won his maiden hurdle next time. So I think that race worked out quite well. When you go through the Ballymore, Champ is favourite, which worthy favourite, Grade 1 winner, second season novice, has the form in the book. Battle Over Doyen has won a Grade 1. He's obviously quite solid. But after that, Elixir de Nuts is next in the list. He goes for the Supreme. JP owns both Birchdale and Champagne Platinum, so I don't think he's going to throw both of them in against Champ. Then you've got Envoy Allen, who hasn't even ran over hurdles yet. He's next in the betting. Vision Donaire is next, and he goes for the Supreme. And then you've got Mr. Fisher. So I think of the list at the moment, I think you've got so many horses that are not going to run. I think this guy, Dunvegan, is going to run over 2 mile 6 at Leopardstown this weekend. And I think he's underrated because of the trainer, because of who he is. He's not a sexy horse. He's a horse really that's come from the long grass. I'm just going to read you a quote from Pat Fahey, who in tomorrow's Racing Post, this is what Pat Fahey has to say about Dunvegan. Now, Pat is he's like myself, he's very positive, okay?
Good.
So you have to take this with a pinch of salt. But he does say, Dunvegan goes for the grade 1 over 2 mile 6. I think the absolute world of him, but don't mind what I think. If half the trainers who come up to me after he won a Fairy House are even half right, well then he's a machine. He's gone from strength to strength and we think he's the real deal and that he's top class. We just have to see him in a grade 1 against grade 1 horses now to know for sure. But I'd be very confident if the real Dunvegan shows up and the ground is safe, he'll be right in the mix. I'd be very disappointed if he didn't go very close at the weekend. I would be amazed if he didn't, and I'm expecting him to be the real deal. Now, it's obviously treacherous to believe what trainers say. Treacherous, I know, but they are big quotes.
Well, the one thing I'll say is that he jumped fantastic in Fairy House and even in Leopardstown, so he's a very good jumper, which is a good start.
He is indeed. And 40 to 1, even if he finishes 5th or 6th and you get a good run for your money, 40 to 1. I don't think he'd be 40 to 1 after the weekend. Pat Fahey doesn't think he'd be 40 to 1 after the weekend.
We'll chat next Monday.
So hopefully this will be the selection that we're going to be talking about this time next year.
Okay.
If we're still alive, please God,
Please God.
on Upping the Ante. So there's our next selections for Upping the Ante. Week 9, Gavin. You, of course, have gone for Blue Sari in the Cheltenham Bumper, and I have gone for Dunvegan in the Ballymore Novices Hurdle. That's it from us. We'll be back next week, Gavin. How long will it be to go this time next week?
5 weeks in a day.
5 weeks to go. That's it for week 9 of Upping the Ante. Join us again next week for week 10.
Red Zone Sports Doctor. Wham, bam. Thank you, Uncle Sam.